So here's something that our newer viewers won't quite understand, and I hope I can explain it well enough for them to get it. Bill Elliott might have gone most of his career winning that most popular driver award, but he was not the most popular driver. And I'm hoping I can break this down for you to understand it. Okay, when he first won it, that's when he was jumping on. Man, that was $1 million bill. That absolutely is a legit victory. He was the most popular driver. Then he lost it a couple years to Darrell Waltrip. And that's when Darrell was winning everything still, and he was the champion both of those years, and Darrell Waltrip earned it. Then came back to Bill Elliott, and I say Bill actually earned it at that point too. He was still winning. He's still the down-home country boy, and everything was good. But I'm not exactly sure where and when this happened. This is about the time that Earnhardt has taken his 4th and 5th titles. They were back-to-back seasons. So around that time period, Bill hadn't been putting up any victories. It might have been the first year he didn't do it, or second or third year he didn't do it. Anyway, he just wasn't $1 million Bill anymore. He was just Bill on the track. He was driving a McDonald's car, and that's part of the reason that they figured out how to do this. He was considered the most popular driver, driving the most popular fast food franchise. And that's what made McDonald's happy. And so somehow Elliott fans figured out how to keep getting Bill the victory every year to be the most popular driver. And you're wondering why I'm using like quotes like he was the most popular. Because at that point he wasn't. Okay? He did not even have his own trailer at the track anymore. Your popular drivers get their own trailers because they sell that much more merchandise than ever. Bill didn't have it. He was in the conglomerate NASCAR trailer, where you're a part of them. You might be selling $250,000 of sales and souvenirs, whereas Earnhardt, at the time he took the 94, 95 titles, his 4th and 5th title, that's where Earnhardt really started to become Earnhardt on the track, because he was in the Black 3. And the Intimidator name came about instead of Ironhead now. And so Earnhardt did have his own trailer, and he was outselling everybody at least 2-1. Earnhardt's probably making $2 to $3 million, somewhere in that range, every year, selling shirts and souvenirs, and Bill is just part of the conglomerate. Somehow the Bill Elliott fans figured out how to win him that title. And at the time, I think it was a call-in, and they had no limit to how many times you could call in. So you could sit there every day just yep, I'm voting for Bill Elliott. I'm voting for Bill Elliott. And they did. And they kept taking him the title and taking him the title. And Bill just wasn't Bill anymore as far as the guy that set the fastest track record of 2:12 and all that. But they still managed to take him the record. And even though he had the record, it was quite obvious he was not the most popular driver. At that time, it became Earnhardt. But they figured out how to do it, and he still has the record. So all newbies that ever come into the sport are always going to see that Bill has that streak all the way until Earnhardt did pass away, and he bowed out to give Earnhardt that chance to take it. But in the meantime, if you want to look at the real deal of who's making money and whose shirts are all over the stands and who's everybody emulating and wanting to be, that was by far Earnhardt. All the way up until that Rainbow Kid came about a few years later. We'll get into stories about him too. Wonder Boy! Thanks for watching, like and subscribe. Leave any comments on his revelations about Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. Love to hear from you. Happy Thanksgiving.